Hello, citizens of the truck driver universe. I am sitting in traffic in Atlanta right now. I'm not actually sitting, I'm going slowly. Now, you might notice that I've left a gap in front of me. I know a lot of people think, oh, he saved that gap for me and I can just put my car right in there. Actually, I left this gap for two reasons. One, so, as you can see, if I need to stop, I can stop. If I need to stop suddenly, I can stop. And two, it's because, well, honestly, there are some drivers out there who are going to jump in front of me. And I want to give them plenty of space to do what they need to do. I'm honestly a big believer in the idea that stupidity takes up a lot of space. And you might be wondering about that, but no, hear me out, you know. How many times have you seen somebody do something stupid in a small space? It happens, but usually stupidity is just an all-encompassing mess. And then sometimes what they're doing is not actually stupid. It seems stupid, but they know what they're doing. So yeah, I'm going to leave this gap. Yeah, just make sure it's going to be safe. It's something truck drivers do, and if you're a new truck driver or you're an amateur driver, especially if you're a new truck driver, leave that gap. See this green truck? See that big gap in front of him? That's not an accident. See this pickup truck to my left? See a big gap in front of him? That's not an accident. There's another pickup truck behind him with a big gap. There's a semi behind me with a big gap. There's a red truck over here. Huge gap. Okay, I just don't think his acceleration is good enough. The point is, professional drivers leave space for other people to do whatever they need to do. Sometimes that's changing lanes. Sometimes they'll come up and they'll jump in front of you and slam on the brakes because they're going way faster than the people in front of them. And that's okay, because I'm going to leave a big gap so you can do that. Now, me personally, when I need to change lanes like that, here's something you might try. Instead of coming up and jumping in the gap and slamming on the brakes, try slamming on the brakes before you change lanes. And the reason I say this is because when you jump in front of somebody and you slam on the brakes, from their point of view, you just jumped in front of them and slammed on the brakes. It's a really good way of creating road rage within others, and that's something you want to avoid. That's not creating road rage is part of being a professional driver. And you can be an amateur driver and do professional things. And professional drivers really appreciate it if you do, by the way. But yeah, try that next time. So like if somebody come up, like another truck were to come up along this gap with their turn signal on, and then slow down to match speeds with traffic and then just slide over, it's a lot less offensive than somebody who cuts in front of me and slams on the brakes. And that's not just for, dealing with, again, not just professional drivers, but all drivers should try that. It makes life a lot easier for everyone. Because one of the great problems you will see out here is when you create road rage in others, a lot of times they want to punish you for that. And that's where you start hearing about people jumping in front of semis and slamming on the brakes themselves. It's called a brake check. They didn't have to slam on the brakes. They wanted to. And it's actually a really good way to get hurt. And I don't mean that in a threatening sort of way. I mean, there are people who have lost their lives jumping in front of a truck and slamming on the brakes. I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. Well, now the driver of the car is in the hospital or worse, and the driver of the truck hasn't learned anything except that the person who cut him off was not that bright. Just some food for thought, drivers. If you like what you've seen, please like, share, and subscribe. But whether you like it or not, please drive safely.